सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तपोभिक्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। श्लोक 46, पेज 113। तत्त्वस्वरूपानुभवात् तत्त्वस्वरूपानुभवात् उत्पन्नं ज्ञानमञ्जसा। अहं ममेति चाज्ञानम् बाधते दिग्भ्रमादिवत्। So continuing the experience, which is the most subjective one, how does one experience it? In the Jnana Swarupa Nishtha, that we have been seeing in the last few shlokas. Tattvasvarūpānubhavāt, anubhavat, of the anubhava of the tattva, utpannam jñānam anjasa, the knowledge is like on the tip of your hands, meaning it is evident, it is clear. Jnānamaṃjasā, it is very instant. Ahaṃ mameti ca ajñānam bādhate. What is essentially removed in our vision is ahaṃ and mama, I and my. This kind of, because the moment you say I and my, there is me and there is mine, and then there is you and there is yours. The whole Bhagavad Gita starts from that foundation. Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. Digbhramādivat. The wrong understanding of the directions, dik. Some people are directionally challenged. You drive with them and then they look at things and say, where exactly are we? Where are we going? Now, from living here, growing up here, suddenly when I was posted to Dallas, it was a little difficult because their way of explaining directions, though very simple and direct, it is unlike what we do. They say the southeast corner, from there you go north, from the southeast corner go north, and you will come across this intersection. There you take east and you reach to the destination. Coming from India, ऐसा कौन direction देता है? That's so difficult. Because here the directions are very, very, I didn't think that GPS would be clicking well in India, because I assumed that the GPS system would fail because we don't need GPS, we have walking, talking GPSs. Go straight, turn left, at the circle, ask somebody. This is how we give directions. Now, when you have to look at some specificities, say you are looking at a piece of land or a construction or something, and then you have to look at where is the north, where is the east, what about the south or the southwest corner, Purva, Dakshina, Uttara, Paschima, and then there is Ishanya, Nairuti, and these directions. So you align yourself. Where is the sun? When you are facing the sun, that is the east. Your back then is facing the west. When you are facing the sun, which is the east, then the right hand side is showing the south, the north is shown by your left. Now, once that is ascertained, now you can create a directional map for yourself. Meaning, you have now ascertained where exactly you are. That is half the problem. To reach where we have to becomes easy. For most of us or all of us, for every jiva, destination is clear. Dukkha doesn't stay even if we want to. Sukha doesn't, or at least the desire for sukha doesn't go away even if we want to leave it. So the goal that we want to reach, the destination that which we want to reach is very clear. Come what may, I want sukha. In these many years of my teaching, I have yet to come across where people say, Swamiji, please pray for me. The next effort, I am trying to be the most miserable man. Invoke the blessings for my dukkha, misery. Nobody wants it. So the direction is pretty much clear where we want to be, which is sukha. But where we fail is we do not ascertain where we are, so that to map from where I am to where I should be becomes easy. And then we blame it on God, we blame it on Guru, we blame it on scriptures, we blame it on sadhana, and say that all of this is confusing. Not even difficult, confusing. When somebody says it is difficult, that means that person has started trying. When somebody says it is confusing, they have been thinking of trying but yet not have put any effort. But once you ascertain where you are, you can always find how to reach there. Even if you take a temporary pause, you will have clarity as to how to get on and reach. That is not that confusing. But once you do not know where you are heading, because you don't know where you are, then punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, that is the main reason. Where exactly am I? And to be honest to that particular positioning, to be honest in evaluating where exactly I am. Because that evaluation is not for pleasing anybody or to show off to anybody or to claim something where you are not. That at least we have to be very, very honest. If somebody calls you saying, hey, I think I am going in circles, please tell me the direction to your house, you don't start giving directions. What is your first question that you ask? And the person gets irritated and says, what, I am lost and I am feeling so frustrated, and you are asking questions? You say, that has to be ascertained first. अंदाज पे नहीं चलता वो. There has to have that specificity. The moment that specificity is gained, then you have, even at least in the vagueness of perception, you have a generic sense of where should I get to. How is then decided? But most of the times it happens that, usually in the friends it happens. They say, chalo bahar chalte. So they all go. Already in the car, already on the road. And then the fellow driving turns around and says, kahan chale? When should we decide that? We should decide that before even we get into that vehicle. The mode is decided, the direction is decided, the destination is decided, not knowing where we are. That is called digbhramā. To ascertain it, half the problem is done. The other half, because we have clarity that we want that sukha and that sukha to be a permanent kind and not nashvara. How do we reach from here to there? And when you look at the GPS, you don't look at the shortest. What do you want? The fastest. Now, the fastest legal method to reach there. Because Murphy's law seems to apply that the road that I am taking, the direction I am taking is the road and direction wherein there is heavy traffic. The other side the traffic is minimal. I've said this earlier. Once you turn left as you have to get to the main road, a very dangerous proposition. There's there's traffic coming along with you, there is traffic that will be coming from the metro, then there will be traffic that you will have to merge, and it is like a constant thick flow. But I am happy that though it is thick traffic, at least it is flowing. Thick, stagnant, then we are caught up. Now add to this, because people find it difficult to go around, then go under, and then come back to this, take a U-turn, and then come here. Arey, kaun jayega bhai itna dur? They immediately turn, and there is an opposite set traffic. So you have to be like, Just because that is the fastest doesn't mean the goal justifies the means. It has to be rightly, properly ascertained. That becomes easy. Similarly, tattvasvarūpānubhavādutpannaṃ jñānamaṃjasā. Probably Adi Shankaracharya ji remembered this example because maybe his own Sishya, who he had named Hastamalaka, was just passing by, or he was sitting right in front. So he immediately used that example. His name is the most unique name. How is his experience? Like Hasta Amalakavat. Now I can become Hasta Penvat. Like on the hand, when there is a vastu kept, how clear is the perception? How clear is the understanding? How clear is the experience? All three steps. Perception, understanding of that perception, and experience of that perception. Similarly, when Hastamalaka was brought by his parents, assuming, because he never spoke, he never interacted, he never engaged with anyone anywhere. So people thought he was, or the parents thought he was not smart, dumb. That was the idea. So when he saw this amazing, charismatic, engaging Shankaracharya ji, and he asks him, Bho Vatsa, Bruhi Kastvam, please tell us who you are. I said, it will be difficult for me to explain who I am, but I can certainly tell you who I am not. He gives the entire list, Hastamalaka Stotra, the first time he spoke, and the profoundness of words that he utters is mind-boggling. A young kid, not more than 10. And he lists out with such preciseness and says, every shloka has 4 lines, 3 lines he explains what he is not, and says, therefore that which is seeing it or enabling it or pouring prana into it, that entity I am, that much I know. So everybody is astounded. So therefore he names him as Hastamalaka Acharya. Meaning, Hasta is not Hindi Hasta. Hasta means hand. Amalaka is that amla, gooseberry. So on the hand, when there is a gooseberry, and as clear is the perception, as clear is the understanding of that perception, and as clear is the experience of that understanding and perception, that clear is his nishtha in that Atmajnana. Jnānamaṃjasā. The knowledge is that vividly clear. Once this Atmanubhuti or tattvasvarūpa is ascertained, how does it show the impact? That person doesn't function from the standpoint of ahaṃ and mama. Why? Because there is no need for that kind of a bifurcation. Because the moment I say, this is mine, what is the rest of the world? The rest of the world is not mine, is yet to be mine. That is why we put effort, right? That which I have has to be kshema. That which I don't have, now I should make it mine. Thus starts, all the confusion begins right there. The entire gamut of our political existence starts there. How do I scheme to make that which is not yet mine as mine? That is not the perspective with which this man of wisdom functions. This individual does not have that baseline of functioning from various perspectives. One, there is no point in leaving my signature on anything as mine. So there is no hidden agenda. That which I was assuming to gain was from the probability that after I gain it, I might have a certain amount of joy, that which I could enjoy. I have multifolds of greater sukha, and in comparison to that, nothing of this is comparable. It is nowhere close. Why should I put the effort for that? Most profoundly, there is nothing other than me, therefore what should I gain? In order to gain, I have to have a sense of otherness. If there is something other than me, then I can start exploring. This jnana, this tattva is advaya, one without a second. Then how should he perceive the entire multitude of this creation? He said, they are all resolved in me, and these are just my extension. See, to understand the extension, as long as we are with the similar kind, we take it for granted, we don't tend to see the oneness. Because of that, ati parichaya, avajña is born. Neglect, callousness is born. And born out of that callousness, we see only differences. Supposing you move from here to, say, Canada. There also they decide where you have to stay. Not all places are open. You are given the entry only if you promise to stay in a certain place. and function wherever else. But you have to stay there. So some remote corner, say Saskatchewan, northernmost point. And there, to find a human being, ganimat hai. And you see all white. Population is that. Even that which you rarely see it happens to be a white population. See, once I had gone to the northernmost point, because there is a beautiful phenomena that happens called aurora borealis. That at night there is this beautiful schematic display of colors in the horizon. We have not seen such ever anywhere. So there is a particular season when the sun is hitting the earth atmosphere in a particular angle. In that particular season it is, and in the remotest corner. You have to reach to a certain point. From there a helicopter takes you and drops, because there are no roads. And there is only one hotel that you can stay. And usually people go there only for this. That is the season when there is huge business. So I went there for 2 days. Assuming that that place is already remote, that I had whatever clothes that I were taking, I was already wearing. Then what was the luggage? Food. Thepla, achar, avakai. You don't know. You are going in a completely no human kind. As I reached there are a lot of white people. In the back of me, there I hear Gujarati. That hotel is owned by a Gujarati. So I immediately turned. Arey bhai, kem cho? And that fellow also had a big smile. There is no more difference of you being the northern Indian or a southern Indian. Indian? Who put Indian che? I am also Indian. All my food was like a waste taking, because I had fresh roti, fresh bhaji, fresh dal. And me being in these clothes, they said, Sant aaye hain, so please come, not in the common dining that which they serve. It is in their little apartment. Special treatment. Why? Oneness seen. In the sea of unknown people, you see some similarity, you immediately see the oneness. If you go by the Star Wars or the Star Trek, wherein intergalactical travel in some unforeseen galaxy out there, if you put yourself and you see somebody, it's like a sea of people with different, unique head, or the forms are completely different, because different galaxies, different jiva systems. And you see somebody walking on 2 legs with 2 hands on head, and then you look at that fellow and say, Earth? Me also Earth. What nationality, what language, what you follow, what you don't follow, all of that is not even secondary, it is tertiary. You are also a human, I am also a human, both come from earth. Oneness seen. The question that Vedanta is asking is, do we have to strive to go elsewhere to find this oneness? The highest standpoint of oneness is when you realize this tattva, you see that the entire multitude is resolved, because that tattva itself is the adhara for entire creation. Since there is nothing other than me, what is there to claim? Where is the need, or where is the thing that I can claim to be mine when there is nothing other than me? Chara jagat. Chara, that which is mobile. Achara, that which is immobile. Both of them are an expanse of me. But then our manana nididhyasana is not strong. We get stumbled. How can it be me? Now, in our dreams, do we start the construction of the dream once we get into the dream world? That first there is inanimate, then there is a micro being, and the micro being multiplies, and there is the multi-organed system. Or both chara and achara is projected by you at the same time. Both chara and achara, isn't it you alone expressing? As soon as you realize, oh, this is a dream, in the dream, imagine. What do you see everything as then? Nothing but projection of my own mind? Isn't it? Similarly, this entire waking world, or the three worlds of experience of Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, is nothing but the projection of this mind alone. Therefore, where is it being resolved? I am specifically using the word resolved and not dissolved, because you have realized nothing of this multitude suddenly vanishes. Then people, even those little people that are interested in spirituality, will never turn up. Why? Because there is nothing afterwards. The multitude continues. But then how do you perceive that multitude? See, in a very simplistic way, he is saying there is no ahaṃ and mama. Therefore, there is no tvam and tava. Everything is just an expansion and extension supported by me, the tattva, without which there is no possibility of perceiving it. Ahaṃ mameti jñānam bādhate. That wrong perception is wiped out. The attitude is not now anymore to mark, this is mine, this is yours. Therefore, when they act in the world, it is out of that sheer compassion, because it is my own extension that I am interacting with. Not with dvesha, not with bhaya. See, however close there is somebody, there is still a part of me which I may not be ready to talk about, reveal about, or initiate about. Yes, it is a friendly environment. But here, everything is just me in a different form. Anything that if it is hated, who am I hating? Myself. Any irritation is irritation towards my own self. It is nothing other than me, but it is just an extension of me. Who to hate, why to hate, who to grab, why to grab. There is nothing other than me. Just like once the digbhrama is removed, once you have ascertained where the directions are, even in slumber when you wake up, there is no such confusion which direction. When you wake up, you have that clarity. Similarly is this jnana. Once ascertained, once that nishtha is there, there is no more such confusion. But until the manana removes all the sandeha and the nididhyasana removes all the viparyaya, that anubhava does not become personal, subjective. So I'll give you one shocking revelation. All of us have the experience of Atma Sakshatkara. The day you got convinced that I can only be this Atma Chaitanya and nothing other than it. Atma Jnana has already happened. What is lacking is the nishtha in that Jnana. It is one of the vritti vyapti that I am this whole thing, I am that also, it seems. Very logically profound, I can be that also, That is how we have perceived it. Why the sandeha is immense. And we function in that sandeha only because that is the most secured environment for the mind. In that chaos, we love to live our life. Therefore, after Shravana, the manana has to be done very, very meticulously. Then the nididhyasana is done to remove all the erroneous habitual patterns, which leaves the room for that nishtha to be established. Nishtha, that I am this and nothing else. Continuing about that nishtha, can you close the door? You think the direct light is disturbing, even the reflected consciousness is disturbing. 47th shloka. samyagvijñānavān yogī svātmanyevākhilaṃ jagat ekaṃ ca sarvamātmānamīkṣate jñānacakṣuṣā. samyagvijñānavān yogī svātmanyevākhilaṃ jagat ekaṃ ca sarvamātmānamīkṣate jñānacakṣuṣā. So if you have observed, every shloka that I chant, I then reread it. While rereading it, I am breaking each word. so that our understanding can be better. Samyak. Samyak meaning comprehensive. Vijñānavān. Vijñānavān, the one who has the jnana but now abides in it. Vijnana does not mean Vishesha Jnana here. It is not Viparita Jnana. Definitely not Vigata Jnana. It is not absence of knowledge or wrong understanding, but the absolute understanding and abiding in that understanding. Such yogi, the one who has now abided, become one with. Yuja means to be yoked. Yoked to who? Yoked to what? To one's own true nature. And there is firm abidance in it, comprehensive abidance in it. That anywhere in this vyavahara where it could be a confusion, such confusions don't cloud them anymore. They can see through it clearly. Samyak vijñānavān yogi. What is it that they are seeing? Svātmanyevākhilaṃ jagat. There is one amazing Mahatma from Vrindavan. Our own Puja Guruji had tremendous influence of him while he started learning on Bhagavatam and Ramayana. Is Swami Akhandanandji Maharaj of Vrindavan. So sometimes his definitions are the most apt but very funny. He says, what is jagat? He says, जो जग 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 चमकता हो ना वही जगत है. That which shines apparently, attracting our attention and we run after, that is called jagat. Meaning the prapancha. The entire prapancha is fragmented into small tiny units of separation. But what does this yogi see? He sees svātmanyevākhilaṃ jagat. He sees the self in everything, both chara and achara. The entire creation is perceived not as something different or otherness exists, sees that the apparent otherness is nothing but a projection on to the self, and that self which I am. Svātmanyevākhilaṃ jagat. Ekaṃ ca sarvamātmānamīkṣate. Understand it like this, just for our clarity. Every example will have some flaw in it. Supposing you are the director, you are the script writer, you are the story, you have produced the story, you are the producer of the entire movie. Every character in the movie, you are the one acting. For every character, you are the makeup man. And today's technology, you don't need to be behind the camera because you can have a remote in your pocket and guide it. You don't even need to have a remote. You can sync it with your movement, that wherever you are moving, the camera moves along with you. AI enabled, that it will frame you, and once that frame is fixed, it will move along with you without any jerky movements. So you have the entire crew, entire scheme of characters, all of the things that are required, all components. You are the lightman, you are the soundman, you are the musician, you are the singer, you are the producer, you are the director, the story is by you, the script is by you, and you are acting all the characters. Quite an intense experience. All of this is an expression of that Ishvara. The Samashti is the expression of Ishvara. And that Ishvara is nothing but sa upadhi yukta. That Parabrahma with the upadhi called Samashti. It is the same Parabrahma Tattva with the upadhi called Vyashti, is what I had been so far. Now what is the realization? The realization has been that I am not the upadhi yukta, I am not the one with the upadhi, I am the one who is nirupadhi. There is no more title because there is no more identification with the upadhi. I am that Atma Chaitanya which is Parabrahma Tattva. Tattvasvarūpa is ascertained. So all that which is expressing through the Samashti Upadhi, which is called Jagat, who is the substratum? The substratum is me alone. See, that is called the experience, right? Tattvam analysis after it is done. Now the abidance is in only Asi. And the experience is ahaṃ eva akhilam. So, what is the net total experience of a realized one? I am the pure, impeccable, conscious principle. Not with any upadhi, therefore I am the Brahma Tattva. And this Brahma Tattva is verily the substratum of this entire Jagat. This experience in completeness is samyagvijñāna, comprehensive experience. Otherwise, in confusion, I have seen people, Swamiji, I have realized, in their exact words, Swamiji, I too have realized. Now I want you to tell my family that I have realized. I am not making this example up. I had this one Amma who brought her entire family after attending one of these Viveka Chudamani camps or classes. You know, that particular portion where it says Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. After listening to that, she is convinced I am Atma Chaitanya only. But then her problem is the others in the family are not ready to accept. So she brought the entire family, and the introduction also was very funnily weird. So she points to her husband and says, this body was married to this body. Because why? I am not the body. This body was married to this body these many years ago, and those bodies was born unto us. This is called Jnana ajirnatvam. Wherever there is ajirti, there is acidity. Acidity is called pitta. Pittasya prakopaha paityam. My job was very difficult that day. Because I was like cracking up from within, but I had to maintain a serious face. It was like a comedy show. I don't have to go search for entertainment. Entertainment walks into the life. So what was the wrong understanding there? I alone am that Atma Chaitanya. I have realized. Rest of them are ajnanis. They don't recognize it. There's so many layers of confusion in that statement. So what is the comprehensiveness? I'll repeat step by step. I am this Atma Chaitanya. Without the upadhi, therefore I am that Brahman itself, that tattva itself. Ishvara with the upadhi of samashti is nothing but that Paramatma expressing as that samashti. Having realized that I am this Atma Chaitanya, I am that Parabrahma Tattva, therefore with respect to the jagat, what am I? The substratum of that jagat, unto who all of this multitude has been projected. Therefore, my perception is not from the otherness, but it is from the standpoint that it is my own extension. Atmani akhilam jagat. You see Atmani, in the Atma Chaitanya, you see this jagat, this multitude resolved. He is not saying through the Atma. He is saying Atmani. Atmani meaning in the Atma all of these are resolved. If it is me the adhara for anything, will there be bhaya? Bhaya is only when there is otherness. Will there be any kind of udvega? No. Now from this profoundness, when you even reach to the Sishya or various group, it is from the understanding that in that layer, this understanding has to be brought in, therefore it is done out of pure sheer karuna, compassion only. Just like when there is a sprain on the leg, or you slept and woke up and your neck is now frozen. If somebody talks from that side, you will have to turn the entire torso. Because there is, what do? You will have a hand going there and doing a constant relaxing to it. Why are you doing it? Because that is how the prema swarupa it expresses, because it is your own extension. If you have understood that example with respect to the identified body, the entire creation is such. You are not out there trying to help somebody because they have not, therefore I who have, I have to help. And after every help I have to have a photograph, and the photograph has to hit the social media, and thereby I become viral. That thought to become is the virus. And the doctors will say, for something that which is a virus, antibiotic will not work. The other medicines will not work. For this virus, only jnana. So you reach out from that compassionate perspective wherein it is my own extension, my own self in that form which is feeling suffocated. And there are many border issues, political issues, and other religious issues. Even those have to be handled from this compassion only. Aggressively maybe, but yes, from this standpoint. कहाँ पे लटके हो? Adi Shankaracharya ji did not spare any other vada other than Advaita Siddhanta. The beauty of his understanding and approach, he never censures anyone or any vada. His approach is to produce a logical understanding wherein the fallacy is clearly seen, thereby it has been removed. Because there is no dvesha towards it. There is no bhaya because of it. It is seen as a layer of confusion. That confusion can be cleared only with clarity. And that clarity is logically presented. So there is no getting carried away. That is called samyagvijñāna. samyagvijñānavān yogī atmani jagat. All the multitude of all the beings. When I say beings, I am limiting it. All the chara and achara and their various confused logic and their existence. It is approached from this compassionate perspective. Probably it is only such who can offer the actual meaning of seva. Because most of us, our bhava of seva is after the seva there has to be some meva. A pat on the back at least. अरे क्या करे तुम लोग एकदम छिंदी. हाँ. There has to be some pat on the back or some recognition, some shawl, some plaque, some photo. The seva is already corrupted. Seva is meaning you reach out and help remove that layers of whatever is bādhaka and you liberate them. Otherwise there is no need for a Mahatma to come back and revitalize to the society to understand this jnana. The only standpoint is that where I am standing, where there is no limitation, I just want you to be there also. The one who functions with this attitude is endowed with jñānacakṣuṣā, functioning from the eye of wisdom. Don't again start imagining that there is a sudden third eye. The clarity is the quality of the intellect. The intellect now has no habitual errors, does not have any samshaya, there is no samshaya viparyaya, and that clarity is now born directly, and with that clarity they understand, because the platform of functioning is from Atma Chaitanya. Not the reflected, not the Buddhi's capacity. Buddhi is now endowed with a perfect channel of expression. Jnānacakṣuṣā. I thought I will continue, but it is already 7:29. We'll stop here. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaः, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyid dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritangamaya. Om purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate, purnasya purnamadaya purnamevāvasishyate. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.